Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to Sink the Bismarck with me, Wolf 190D. So, for those of you that have been following along throughout the whole of this journey, much appreciated, much obliged. I thank you kindly. Um, and somebody pointed out something earlier on YouTube anyway, and this was Joshua Dalton 1437. Yes, thank you for the comment actually, and reminding me. I've kind of been neglecting that. It's a new feature, and I haven't taken much advantage of it. The in the latest versions, you can invade minor nations which are allied to your enemies. Um, and seeing as how my current enemies have no minor allies, that's not really an option for me to take advantage of right now. But um, it is a recent development where, and I think I just had touched on this on the by the end of the last episode, that the United States are going to try to invade Sweden, and I am not going to let that happen. Sweden is my homeboys right now; they're the only ones I've got, and we don't want them going away anytime soon. I mean, the flip side of that, of course, is let the United States invade them, take them over, and then we'll just take it over, and then we can own the whole of Sweden. Maybe, maybe not. It's a thought, if you're one of those kinds of people, but they're my friends, and I'm not going to just let them be swept to the wayside in such a way. Now, this is interesting. The British are instigating a naval invasion on Tunisia, while Tunisia is sending their ground forces into northern Algeria. This could be interesting. If the British don't get a fleet there quickly enough, then they're going to lose out in northern Algeria. So we'll just have to see how that plays out for the British. Move to Balboa. He's kind of contracting right now. The United States is, I think. I mean, they're still sending some scattered fleets over here, but I'm not really, I'm not really seeing much in the way of effective resistance here for now. I'm gonna pull another one of those battleships and get it ready for refitting. He doesn't have any big fleets that are coming, so I've got one battleship, one light cruiser, and two destroyers. I think that's going to be plenty to hold that area down for the time being. At least until we get our refits done. So, uh, my shipyard capacity is pretty well maxed out. I've got a nice monthly balance rolling, so I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is go ahead and give it another, why not, 15 month improvement, or should I just do a micro build? I mean, my max shipyard size right now is almost 60,000 tons, which I think that's a lot bigger than any of the ships I'm currently capable of building. I mean, what's it going to hurt to put a little bit more money into more shipyard size? I don't know, but yeah, 34,000 tons is the biggest ship that I can build right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we've got destroyer hull number one. Destroyer hull number two is coming up sooner rather than later. Are there any other modifications? Yes, actually, there's the Helgoland 1912 variant. I can go ahead and delete that. I can clean that out. The Kaisers, I am getting ready on the Kaisers. Now, the Siegfrieds, the Nassaus, actually, I could do another upgrade on the Nassaus. They are sporting 12-inch guns, but they are also, I don't know. I'll consider that. I did the Kaisers, the MG42s. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do these MG42s, because what I would like to do is actually further reduce the weight and keep the same volume of fire on a broadside by rearranging the turrets, maybe the superstructure, who knows. Um, hmm, I don't know. That's going to be a tricky one on this particular hull design. That's going to be a little tricky. So let's go ahead and I can't get the destroyers out of there because they're buried. Again, when task forces become stacked like this, it would be nice to have an option to, I don't know, look at the one underneath or something. Is there a way to do that? Does anybody know if there's a way to do that? Uh, any input would be great. I'm still a little at a loss as to whether or not that can work. So anyway, maybe there's a keyboard command that like flips the stacks or something. If there is, that would be great. But other than that, yeah, let's go on to the next turn. Now, so far the ship flaws haven't been anything critical. And I know because that's what comes to mind is I was researching a technology to further reduce those flaws. I haven't seen anything majorly critical with those as of yet. The Siegfrieds are going to see a little action down here, which is interesting because most of these guys are veterans. The Siegfrieds though are up. They're about to be slated for elimination. I just have to have ships ready to put the crew on. I don't, and this is an important thought with crew rotation, is if you let your crews sit in the crew pool, they actually lose experience. So it's generally a good idea to have ships ready to rotate veteran crews right into new ships. Okay. So anyway, we've got these Siegfried class ships. Um, let's just pull him. I guess I could really just, because these guys are actually getting ready to be just secondary zone control ships. And this is one of the old 73s. I mean, these have actually been really good ships. And they're one of the few ones actually right now that actually have a secondary battery. They got 5.9s and then three 105 pairs, in addition to 11.1 main guns and those 47mm guns that are in their superstructure, which are kind of, for battleships by this point, really underrepresented. But it was the biggest gun I could stick on the superstructure. On these small dreadnought hulls. And yeah, they come in at under 20,000 tons, so they're small. They're probably under armored by this point. Yeah, 12 inches on the main belt, with 7 inches on the fore and aft belt. That's actually not half bad. That's a good bit of armor on them. They're still using Krupp 1 though, and I might be able to. Well, no, Krupp 1 actually is Krupp 1 is still my second best armor. So either way, if I decide to mothball them, they'll make good, really actually, they'll make superb ships for Sweden. Sweden will have a pretty decent navy if I go ahead and leave those alone like this. And then there goes the secondary batteries. Those 105s, they're just chirping rounds. 150s. It's particularly with the secondary batteries. It's about volume. It's about volume. That's why I like sticking with the 150s. They're not big. They don't cause a lot of damage, but boy, do they keep up a steady stream of fire on enemy ships. And I mean, this design is way past obsolete. I mean, this design would have been obsolete by about 1895. This is the old, this is like 95. That was a nice explosion right there. I mean, look, the 88s on this destroyer are actually doing significant damage to that heavy cruiser design. That's how obsolete that thing is. A heavy cruiser taking significant damage from an 88 millimeter gun. I want to drop torch. Don't need to drop torch. There we go. 88s with SAP shells at that. Those were semi-armor piercing. Now the MG42 is getting a little action against a heavy cruiser that he's trying to use to invade Sweden. No, Sweden is my homeboys. Or as Gandalf would say, you shall not pass. Something like that. I'm sorry, I do not have the voice of Ian McKellen. This is just something I kind of threw together just to see what would happen, has actually proved to be fairly effective. You know, you get 8 guns on the fore, 8 guns on the aft. And 12 and 12 guns on the broadside. Now, if I do what I'm thinking of doing, and that's the thing, if I try to do what I'm thinking of doing with these, it would become just a problem, because off the forward end, you would be dropped to 4 guns. Excuse me. And on the broadside, you would get the 12. So there again, it would be weight saving though, because we would eliminate 2 of the turrets. It would allow us to invest more weight distribution into armor or engines. Engines wouldn't be a bad idea for a ship that's designed to get up close and punch a lot of little holes in a ship. It actually wouldn't be a bad idea. They really do make quick work of lesser ships. Sweden wants to buy V14. They can do that. They can buy all of those ships that they want. I will saturate their market with good used vessels. Okay, the Hansa can come back, and the Helgoland is upgraded to a 1914 model. So that really is my question now. Is did they restrict refits to have to be sequential? Okay, so which one did I suspend? I suspended something. Ah, yes, it was the scattergun number 2. The scattergun really, honestly, isn't entirely accurate at this point. Because I don't have enough for it. I'm going to have to finish the battle cruiser first. Because I do want to start getting those Kaisers. I do want to start getting the Kaisers refit. So maybe they did. Maybe you have to do them sequentially. It's a 7-month refit. But hey, like I said, it's a lot quicker to refit those Kaisers than it is to actually have to go out and build an entirely new ship. I've got a bunch of runes coming in. Now the Ariadnes are probably, let me see here, those are 3,000 tons out of 4,000 tons. The Wiesbadens are less than 2,000 out of 3,000. So I think what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start to replace those Ariadnes, which were refit light cruisers to be converted to mine layer duty. And I'm going to go ahead and start replacing them with those Wiesbadens, which were designed specifically for mine laying duty. Their maintenance is 11,000 per month. It's a lot less. Yeah. So let's go ahead. We're going to build some more Wiesbadens. We're going to build a couple more Wiesbaden. We'll build these. We'll build these a bit at a time. Let's put him on defend. I'm going to have to go over there actually. Now I'm going to want one in Dover. And if there is a way to search, places when you're looking for a spot to launch your ships, if anybody could let me know about that, that would be great. Okay, cancel. Let's take the Condor. I'm going to mothball the Condor. And let's put this other guy, well, Djibouti. Lerwick, Scapaflow, Friedrichsville, Helmshaven, and Kavieng. Ah, it's Lerwick. For some reason I was thinking it was a different city name. Lerwick's already got a Wiesbaden, so does Scapaflow. So let's see here. How about we launch him in Djibouti? And Djibouti is where? So we've either got Sudan. Well, then let's launch him in Port Sudan. There we go. Mark III 14s. Great. Okay. Well, I think we're gonna go ahead and build a Byron. Yes, hull construction. We can come off of that now. Mark III 7s. And let's go ahead and push for the submarines. We've got the 14,000 ton heavy cruiser coming up, and then actually destroyer number 2 is coming up soon. So let's go ahead and prep for ship design. I need to pull up the let me see here. Braunschweig, Deutschland, Nassau's, the Helgolands, the Kaisers, the Königs. There we go. We've got the Bayern class. The Bayern class ships. Okay. So the ships were built between 1913 and 1917. They were in commission from 1916 to 1919. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and do a new design. We're gonna go ahead and hit these guys. The Siegfrieds, I'm not sure. I don't really have time. I don't think to yeah, I think the small dreadnought hulls are pretty much done. So the Siegfried is at 78%. The only thing I might do is upgrade the scattergun, the first scattergun class, with an improved citadel. That might be the only thing that I do. But other than that, no. I'm gonna go ahead and well, let's do the new design first. It's becoming crowded though. The designs and stuff, they're becoming crowded. I need to clean it up a little bit. So the displacement was at full load was 32,200 tons. 32,200 tons with a beam of 98 feet 5 inches. I'm going to put standard bulkhead, standard crew quarters. So 98 feet 5 inches. So -4. How is -3.5% on the beam more narrow than -4%? (98.7), 97.6, so -3.3. That's going to be as close as we get to it. The draft, on the other hand, is 30 foot 10 inches. So again, somebody explain how an 11% increase in draft is 2912, which is 30 feet. And then if you go to 12% increase, it drops to 29.2. It makes no sense, guys. Okay. So 32,200. And you know what? I'm just going to say 32.5. Okay. Okay, so we've got our basis. Now, the armament is going to be 8 15-inch guns. So, in twin turrets, of course. So let's just go ahead and plop one of those down real quick. Now, what I need to do is I need to see kind of a layout of the ships themselves. Okay. And I think what was done, at least what it looks like, is that they had this advanced tower, right? So we're going to go ahead, we're going to put that advanced tower down. We're going to put the gun up there. Okay, they got the advanced tower, and then for the secondary tower, again, appearances indicate that the secondary tower was kind of, I mean, it would be great if I could actually, hold on a second, can we fit this one on here? No, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. So, however best to do that. And it actually appears to be a square one. Instead of a rounded end, the end is squared. So we're going to go with that. And then for our funnels, well, yeah. For the funnels, the first thing I want to do is establish what the engine type is going to be. So I think it should have been turbines. Let me double check that. Propulsion, steam turbines. So they weren't geared, they're steam. They're steam turbines. With a speed of 21 knots. And did it use coal fuel? You know what? We're beyond this by now. So let's go ahead with 22 knots. We're going to go with geared turbines, and we're going to do semi-boil fuel to save on weight. Now, how many funnels did these guys have? 2. And they weren't uniform size. They were not uniform sized funnels. So we're going to go with that, and we'll put the gross funnel here in the rear like that. Okay. So and that will pretty much be the general layout anyway for our iron class. Oh, we've got upgraded shaft number 2. That's very nice. Let's go with anti-torpedo number 2. Go with a double hull, reinforced bulkheads, anti-flood, and citadel number 2. Standard ratio, high capacity shells with semi-armor piercing. No, I don't like the sound of that. Semi-ballistics. Let's put tube powder and dunite. I really do like that dunite. Wow, and the semi-ballistic shells are going to crash holes straight on through the enemy ships. For hydraulic turrets, we're going to go with stereoscopic rangefinders with an advanced radio. Now, armor scheme. Actually, I have to go ahead and finish out the it had supposed to have 5 single torpedo tubes, but I'm not going to fool around with that. So let me see here. 16 5.9s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. All right, so those are 5.9s. Let's go ahead and crank those up. Wow, those guns can actually pivot all the way around. Look at that. And it had some 88s. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and put a significant number of 88s on here. Okay. And it was supposed to just be like 2 for anti-aircraft purposes or something, but I'm going to go ahead and load them up. Okay. Now, let me take another look here. Okay. Yeah, it did. It had the advanced platform for that. Now, what we could do is we could stick a secondary battery in here, but I'm not going to fool around with that right now. What I do want to do, though, is I do want to... No, I don't want to bring that. I want to bring the whole tower. Okay. And then bring this tower right back to there. And then bring this main gun back a little bit. All right, so that's going to help with the forward weight distribution. 13.8 inches of armor, tapered down to 6.7. So 13, we'll say 14 on the main belt, and we'll say 6 on the, you know what, yeah, 6 on the inner belt. Okay. Now we're going to run into weight problems. The deck was 2.3 to 3.9. So for the main deck, we'll say 2.5, or should we just say 3 on the main deck? Okay. The 15-inch guns, we're going to do 3 inches of armor on the top, 12 inches of armor on the barbette. And this is where we run into some really interesting problems. 2 and 2, we'll leave the side armor alone, but we'll bring down the top armor. The turrets, 14 inches of armor again, which is 14 inches of armor enough? I think 14 inches of Krupp 2 is going to be just fine. We'll drop the anti-torpedo down to number 1. Because there again, I'm not expecting, and because they're 15-inch shells, let's go with light. Let's go with light shells. That brings us down to 11.7. At whatever armor I had it set at, I don't remember. Tube powder and dunite, though. That'll be very nice. So let's see here. We've got that. Now, for the forward armor, let's go 7. Let's go 7 on the rear belt, and let's see where this will get us. So let's go with 8 inches on the aft belt. I've got about 600 tons to work with. The forward deck will drop to 2 inches. The aft deck will bump to 4. Oh, good grief. The conning tower, it's overweight. Okay. Easy enough to fit. No, it's not either because our fuel is a lot lighter now. Tell you what, let's drop the auxiliary engine. Though the auxiliary engine actually is really nice. Let's drop off the shaft. Okay. Bring the barbette down to number 2. Okay. Now the superstructure, I would like to be a little heavier. Not too heavy. Okay, we're going to go with 1/2 inch on the inner deck. And what happens if I go with 7? It doesn't drop it that much, really. Well, let's go with 7. We'll halfway our 105s. Those are 88, or not 88s. Those are 150 L 45s. That's fine, I think. Right. And the idea here too is that once we start getting better and better, I think it should drop the weight of the main battery. We still got a little bit of a forward offset problem though. So what about 4.5 inches? What about 5 inches on the rear deck? Okay, and then the rear belt. I could squeeze a little bit more off the forward deck, but I don't want to go below 2 inches on this. So 2.2%. It's a heavy ship. Yeah, no, we can't do that. And it really is that forward tower that's doing so much there. The secondary tower. What if I went with the advanced rear deck number 5? It would be a modification, but so here's another thought. Can I can. Look at that. Would you look at that? Okay. And those 15s, they're in there real tight, but there you go. And there we go. We brought it down to perfect balance. Now, you know, it'd be really nice if you could stick like a I don't know, like a gun out on top of that deck. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, but you can't. For some reason, they don't mount to the top of that deck. It looks sturdy enough. But anyway. So there is a potential modified Bayern build. We're about 170 tons under max load. We've got an auxiliary diesel, but we don't. Ooh, hello. Yeah, the shaft 2 is not, but we can put shaft 1 in there, which adds to acceleration and turning rate, ship repairs for the engines, and if the engines get damaged, it's a less of a penalty from engine damage. But other than that, there we go. We've done what we can with it. We've even given her an extra knot worth of speed. We've got semi-oil fuel, which helps dramatically with the range. And there we have it. So let me see. What would be a good angle here? I think that would be. Okay. Oops. Okay. And as we get better technologies and things, this will lighten it up even more. And we will, of course, be able to probably further refine and balance the armor scheme. Okay, so what are we building for good old Sweden anyway? Are we building anything for Sweden, or is everything pretty much tied up in our own production? Let's see. No, Sweden hasn't bought any new ships. They're able to get a really good discount on the used ships, and I hope they take advantage of it because I got a bunch of these old ones that it's just So where is my production be? Mostly, I think it's in the ruins right now. So as we clear those out, we'll be able to do that. But let's go ahead and lay down all of the Byrons. So we're going to build 4, I think. How many were there? There were 4 dreadnoughts. Yes, 4 dreadnoughts of the Byron class. So let's go ahead and build 4 of the Byrons. And their names were, what do we call them? We have the Bayern. We have the Baden. Oh, wait a second. Sachsen was the 3rd, and the Württemberg was the 4th. So we have Bayern, Baden, Sachsen, and Württemberg. Is it Wirtem? Yeah. Wirt. Oh, it's 2 T's. Württemberg. Okay. Now, where were each of them launched? Some Bayern was built Hovaltwerk in Kiel. Okay. And then that was the Bayern. The Baden was built in Zichau. I think that's Danzig. Oh, Schechau Werk was actually based in East Prussia. Let's go ahead and launch this one in Pilau then. That was the Baden. We'll launch her in Pilau. The Sachsen was also built in Kiel. And then the Württemberg was built in Hamburg. Okay, so we're going to suspend Suspend. Yeah, none of them are ready for building just yet. But 19 months, that's a long build time. Good grief. Okay, so we'll get done with the battle cruiser, and then we'll get done with a couple of these heavy cruisers, these runes, which are about 1,000 tons underweight. Sadly enough. Okay, let's see here. Now, we could fool around with a planned battleship design, and maybe that's something to consider. Which were the L20E designs. The L20E A class. Or is that alpha? That might be alpha. Anyway. Sorry, Million Historias. I didn't have my chat up, so I'm just now picking up that you sent me some messages. Yeah, actually, I did build that. I did do a shotgun. Actually, uh, it's probably actually that MG42 that I have, which. Well, thank you for your patience then. But I did build these interesting ships. These guys with a mess of 9.4s. There's eight barrels fore and aft, and I haven't gotten to the Bismarck yet, because well tech levels aren't there yet. So see, I'm getting the Mark III 14 soon, so I'll be able to actually refit a refit once I get done with the refits. It's going to be a process, but I just got done. Yeah, what I did was I can show you real quick. What I did was I basically just maxed out, or actually I didn't max out. What I did was um, put a mess of 9.4-inch barrels, in wedge formations on fore and aft. Um, so yeah, 9.4-inch guns. There's a bunch of them on there. These guys actually perform really well. So there's four center lines, and then there's four wings. Yes, the MG42, because it's pretty much intended to be high rate of fire, high penetration, but not much in the way of damage. Well, maybe, but I really couldn't fit any more wings around the funnels here. So I'll have to toy with it some more, but don't trust it. Well, this was just it was just something I kind of was like, this might work, and it actually does. It's been performing very well. So I'm just using them for like zone control. Um, yeah, yeah. So anyway, on to the next turn here. I think. What am I doing with these guys? It's not your channel, but you made the boat. Hmm. Well, that could be really interesting, actually. I think these guys are gonna go. Well, no, those are 12s. What did I do? I did with the Kaisers. With the Kaiser upgrade, I think I did 14s, but it's only four 14s. Maybe I'll be able to do 514s, 515s even on the Koenig refit. Who knows? Uh, 130,000 ton ship with its entire side covered in triple 8.9s. Well, how do you do that? Because in order to, don't you have to have one main battery? So how do you fill the main battery requirement on such a ship? Because 8.9s technically on the battleships are secondaries, unless you're doing this on a large cruiser hull, which could be interesting. The shooting area is poor, so so you really have no. It's really just kind of like a modernized version of like a frigate or something, I guess. Huh? There's not much in the way of movement for the turrets. Well, there's a world of difference between pounds and kilos. 900 pounds, if you 900 kilos, it would be basically multiply that by 2.2. All right, we got destroyer hull type 2. Diesel engines for submarines. And I'm not sure if that's, no, that should be, well, anyway. Oh, what are they doing? Are they okay? Well, it says his destination is the North Sea, and it's not. So let's get these Nassaus back into some action over here. We'll sail them around the coast there. Um, okay, and that's going to be the Helgoland. So actually, I think let me see here. Yeah, I've already. No, did I? Yes, I already nixed it. Okay, so we've got a 2-month refit. Um, and then let me see here. Good grief. No, that's the refit there. That Helgoland is having to basically be mothballed. Marseille. Okay, so we've got good refits going on with the Kaiser class. Okay, so let me see here. Make a German galleon on steroids that is absolutely useful. Haha. And it will not save your wallet. Well, I mean, I'm making almost $100 million dollars a turn, so I'm kind of not worried about money right now. I don't know if you've seen any of the new updates too, but they've done some interesting things with the finances. There's a higher cap on the tech budget, but because of that, tech research can become ridiculously expensive. Um, I mean, yeah, I'm willing to give it a try. We still got 73s over here. Okay. I might just be scrapping those Pilals, or not the Pilals. That's the name of the ship. The Ariadnes. $9 billion. That sounds like a very expensive ship. Huh. Oh wow, his supply port is too far. Okay, so what I'm gonna have to do is maybe move this fleet. Where can I move this fleet to? I'm gonna come down here and harass. we're out of ammunition. We can't raid anymore. We can't raid him anymore. So no, we gotta come back. Um, I got all these destroyers just kind of chilling right now. Um, yeah, and you know what? That's not kind of not going to work. So let's go to this port over here. Uh, what would be the cause for that inflation in price? You said your design was 90 million, and their design cost 360 million. Huh? What? This is really weird. Is Lisbon its own city now? I don't I don't get it. There's I don't know, and again, it could be because this campaign is based off of a much older version. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. I'm gonna move this guy back over here. Um, hmm. How am I on time? I got a couple more minutes before there's gonna be another intermission. So, um, let's see here. No, we got one more layer of experiments, I think, before we can finalize a submarine design and start making submarines. So let's go ahead and push for that, because submarines can be a real big nuisance early game. Though, do I have? Ah, good. We do have depth charges. So, at some point, I'm gonna have to modify my destroyers. Which the 1200s. Ah, the 1200s got about 30 tons. I mean, so 30 tons. Is that going to be enough to add some ASW to these V1200s? Perhaps. Um, Let me start going through though, and I need to clean out my roster. Let me see here, mothballed. We're gonna take two of the ships out of Cork, and we're gonna go ahead and scrap them. But Plymouth. I'll take all the mothballed ships in Plymouth. Okay. Scrap all of them. And then that's where we're getting down into the 1200s. So, let me see. I don't know, should I maybe start an invasion of the United States? Your ship cost is 100 million, Historias? My goodness. So that's a very expensive boat. Actually, maybe not. I don't know. Is it really that? I mean, considering what you're talking about building, it's not terrible because I mean, my Bayerns are coming in at 263 million, and my Kaiser refits would be 300 million to build them. So, oh, good grief. So I don't know. I mean, I build expensive ships, but I find that sometimes it's worth the extra money for an expensive ship because they're more durable. All right. Actually, it is time for an intermission on YouTube. This will be the next episode. So, for my returning viewers, particularly Milun Historias, thanks for coming back, buddy. It's good to see you again. For everybody else that stopped by today, also thank you. Please be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and follow. Appease those algorithm gods by giving us a thumbs up. And until next time, folks, this is Wolf190D signing off.